Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about all Chase business credit cards that I've gotten this year. And this is going to be my ultimate guide to Chase. Now, we will be covering the Chase Inc. business credit cards, and it's going to be 3 of them. And I believe that Chase has the trifecta when it comes to business credit cards. In fact, one thing I've been doing this year has been a lot of credit card stacking, mostly with 0% APR cards. And I will say, after all of the credit cards that I've gotten from all of the various credit unions, banks, and what have you, I think Chase is my favorite for this year. It started off rocky. I got a $1,100 credit limit on a Chase Inc. cash card, but this year I'm finishing with 3 Chase cards, $30,000 between all of them, and I'm very happy with the lineup. And that's really what I want to talk about. Now, there are some other Chase cards that I will probably be talking about next year. And one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is, what do you do with these cards after you've exhausted the promotions? Now, after the promotions and the welcome bonus offers, you don't want to have a lot of cards with a lot of credit line just lingering, not in my opinion. So I'm going to be consolidating. And when I actually think about which ones are going to give me the most value, I think Chase is where I'm going to actually stay at. So I would definitely want to get you to maybe take a look at a lot of the Chase credit card options, because American Express at this point, I like American Express. There's one card that I've done a review on called the Plum card. I will probably keep that card overall. And then the other cards I will cancel, because when I look at the actual annual fee and what you're getting for them, I'm going to be honest, I've seen a lot of videos where people talked about them not being worth it, and I'm starting to understand why. After you've exhausted welcome bonus offers, and then we look at comparisons to what you can get, a lot of these are not worth keeping. So in the end, I'm going to get rid of a lot of them unless they have 0% APR introduction offers for like the same card. Maybe I'll reapply and get it again. Other than that, I don't see myself using most of these, but Chase is definitely one that at the end of this year, I believe has stood out among all the rest. And I just want to go over all of that and why you should definitely have Chase for business credit cards, especially after 0% APR offers or any welcome bonus offers that you would get with any other bank or any other credit union. Now, this is my Chase trifecta. It's going to be the Chase Inc. Business Premier, the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, and the Chase Inc. Business Cash. Now, we've talked about this before. In fact, I've used this same slide. So Chase actually offers 4 business credit cards with similar names, and we know them: the Inc. Business Unlimited card, the Business Cash, and the Business Premier, as well as the Preferred. And you will notice I did not mention the Preferred on this particular slide. I will get to it, but there's a reason why I didn't mention that one, and it just wasn't really needed for what I'm looking at doing right now. Now, I'm going to go over the cashback offers that these cards provide on all the business spending. And there's, again, the co-branded ones, but I'm going to save those for next year when I'm looking more at travel, because those are the cards that will probably replace the business platinum card with American Express, and really any other travel card that I'm currently holding, even, the Wyndham card and a couple of other ones. I got to see if I really do need them. But for sure, I'm definitely looking to add to what I already have here currently. But these 3 are pretty much perfect when it comes to business. So again, if you're someone who you may be looking to stack credit cards to make money, but at some point these promotions expire, you have all these existing cards, that can become kind of, exhausting to have to deal with all of them every single month, because if you don't use them, then you can end up getting your limits decreased, or they can close out on their own. It's better to close these accounts on your own terms. Now, I'm going to break down in what scenarios I use these cards and why they work best for most business owners. And then you can, come to the conclusion which one you think that you would need overall, or which ones can benefit you. Because once again, after you stack, after you make money, you still have these cards, and you want to get the best cashback offer possible for you spending money. If you're like me and you spend money to make money, you want to get as much back as possible, right? These 3 cards pretty much cover almost everything that you can possibly need when it comes to any expense. Let's start by looking at the Inc. Business Cash Card. This was the first one that I got this year. I only got a $1,100 limit. I do think I got that because I did not remove my freeze. It had to go through a second review, and I did not have any accounts open with Chase, not personal, not business. So they gave me the lowest limit possible when it came to this card. It was very discouraging. I'm actually going to do a compilation in this video where I talk about that, and I show you how you can assure that you get high credit limits if you currently don't have any accounts with Chase. So with this card, at the time of recording, and this is the promotion that was going on when I got this card, almost now going on close to a year, that you can earn $750 bonus cash. That's split between $350 and $400. But you also earn 5% cash back in select business categories. So for me, I actually used 5% cash back on those categories to pay bills every single month. And not only was I able to get the $750, I got another like $300 some odd dollars or $350 with the 5% cash back. So just by using this card, I made well over $1,000 in 6 months that I was then able to put towards other business expenses. So you definitely want to check that out and then pay attention to their choice categories. Now, the 5% cash back is on the first $25,000 spent. You earn 2% cash back on the first $25,000 in combined purchases at gas stations, restaurants, and that's on each account anniversary year. 2% probably seems small, but once you start looking at reward cards, you're going to realize that 2% is kind of like the standard, and anything that you can get above there is just perfect, right? So that's on the first 25,000. So of course, after you spend over that, then these all go down. Now, you do get more purchasing power as a Chase card member. You'll be automatically checked for credit line increases every 6 months or sooner. For me, I actually got a credit line increase in 90 days, and then they'll continue to qualify you like every 90 days to 6 months for a credit line increase. I don't know if that reminds me of Navy Federal. They do the 90 days and then the 6 months. Every 6 months, they then will give you a credit line increase. So interesting, right, for a data point, but it does actually work. And depending on how you use this card, they will increase your limit. From what I've seen, they'll almost double your limit. So even if you start off with a low limit for the initial starting line, this is something that you can look forward to. Now, they have employee cards at no additional cost, which is, again, a great thing. If you have someone in your household, a spouse, a wife, a business partner, anyone like that who can spend extra money that they were going to spend anyway and then can pay this card back responsibly, it gets you extra account spend in order to obtain these rewards and these bonus offers. You definitely want to take advantage of that. And unlike American Express, whoever is the employee on the card, they don't have to provide their social, and it doesn't cost you anything. At least not for when it comes to like the platinum. It's pretty expensive to add someone onto that card, and a couple of other cards, it does cost quite a bit. So it's nice to know that you can get employee cards for free when it comes to Chase and this particular card. Now, you can earn 5% cash back on Lyft rides, but that's until March 2025. So I wasn't going to mention that, but it is right here. So I will talk about that. And of course, probably the most attractive thing, 0% APR for 12 months. I use this card to help me purchase inventory. That was the main reason why I got this card in the first place. And it just actually came in handy for so much more. And I will be using this card in the future for this 5% cash back because it does help me get a lot of money. Now, the next card is the Inc. Business Unlimited credit card. With this one, you can get $750 bonus cash back after you spend $6,000. Now, with the 1.5% cash back, you get close to somewhere where I want to say it's closer to like $900, almost $1,000 is what you'll actually get back. And you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back. The best part about that, again, is unlimited. You won't always see that on most cards. So essentially, for anything that's not in one of those choice categories or being gas or restaurants, you can use this card to get 1.5% cash back and 0% variable APR for 12 months, no interest. And you can, of course, redeem for cash back or gift cards or travel through the Chase Ultimate Rewards program. That's something totally separate. I think that should have its own video, the Ultimate Rewards. It's a very, very good program that you get with Chase where you can get a redemption for a lot of things. And it's sometimes even better than cash, depending on the value that you get. And of course, the employee cards at no additional cost. Same thing for the Lyft rides. It's good until March of 2025. And then after that, it's over. So again, I won't focus on that too much. But for general purpose, 1.5% flat rate, cash back, unlimited. Anything that's not in your choice categories, this is the card that you want to use for every other transaction. So you will guaranteed get 1.5% cash back for every single transaction that you make going forward. Now, this is the card that I've rarely hear anyone talk about, but it is the Chase Inc. Business Premier. Now, this card is technically a charge card for Chase, even though it does have a limit. It is a charge card. The limit that I started off with was $10,000. And then previously, the unlimited is also $10,000. Now, for this one, you earn $1,000 bonus cash back after you spend $10,000 in your first 3 months from account opening. That probably sounds like a lot, but here's the thing. This card, you get 2.5% cash back on every purchase of $5,000 or more and 2% cash back on all other business purchases. The reason why that's important, I have a video where I talk about ADP and paying yourself as an employee with your credit cards. There is a transaction fee for doing that. It's 2.9%. This card, if you at least do over $5,000, which you can do that to pay yourself, to manufacture some spend, not only will you hit the account spend bonus, you'll also almost cover that transaction fee. You're able to essentially cover almost the cost, and that same fee that you have to pay for making that transaction, you can also use it as a tax write-off for your business. So essentially, you're paying nothing at all, and you're getting 2.5% cash back on every purchase of $5,000 or more, and then 2% cash back on all other business purchases. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just a given. Like, that is incredible if you're using it properly. With this, you earn 2.5% cash back. That's $250 on a purchase of $10,000 when redeemed. You can literally manufacture this spend to ultimately continue getting $250 every time you spend $10,000. And you can do it with ADP. I have a video on that if you want to watch it. You can also use that transaction fee on your business taxes, and you can get all of that back. So it's only making you money. Now, again, it's a pay in full card, so it's technically a charge card, but it does have a limit, and you can get buying power to make large purchases to cover monthly expenses, but I haven't seen it where it was more than my limit so far. Maybe I have to continue doing more of a higher spend. Now, with this one, again, employee cards at no additional cost. Same thing with Lyft rides. There is an annual fee of $195, but in my opinion, just with the welcome offer, I think it's worth it. That and having that 2% cash back on every purchase, I think that this is a wonderful card. And in the long run, if we're talking about what you could get for all credit cards when it comes to business, these three kind of cover everything that I would need currently, and they're all great to have. I still have other ones that have certain cash back for, let's say, like EV charging, or a little higher at like restaurants for a promotional period of time, or Uber Eats and things like that. But for the standard of what you can get where you don't have to worry about this changing, just what is the structure of this card, yeah, these are definitely the best cards that you can possibly get, especially if you have all three of them. And as an honorable mention, I want to talk about the Inc. Business Preferred Credit Card. And this one has 90,000 bonus points after you spend $8,000 on purchases in the first 3 months after account opening. Now, with this card, the only thing that I wasn't really happy about was the points. Now, don't get me wrong, the points are actually good because you can redeem them for flexible rewards. And it does make sense when you're using the Chase Ultimate rewards. Now, they don't expire as long as your Chase account is open. Just at the time that I was applying for cards, this is not what I was looking for, especially with a $95 annual fee. I felt like I was already getting more of what I needed from a lot of the other cards that were being offered. But I do want to mention some of the highlights of this card and why I will probably be getting it in the future. But I have to make some comparisons to the other cards that Chase offers. Now, there is a 25% more in travel redemption. So points are actually worth 25% more when you redeem them for travel through the Chase travel portal. Now, if you are someone who likes to travel a lot, 25% more, it can be very, very attractive for you. If you're even comparing it to something like the American Express card, with the Platinum card, I had over 100,000 points, and what that got me was basically $1,000 towards travel for a hotel and possibly a flight, with very limited options. So it really wasn't that good in hindsight when I'm looking at making that purchase. With this one, I would get a lot more value when it comes to getting 25% more towards travel. And it's a dollar or a 3x point system. Depending on what you're doing, you can earn 3 points per dollar on the first $150,000 spent in combined purchases. But it's a dollar for anything else. Now, the categories here are very interesting. Shipping purchases. If you do what I do, that might be kind of attractive. Next year, I plan on working on a personal brand. You get 3x points for advertising purchases made. So if you were doing, like, let's say Facebook or ads or Instagram ads, same exact thing, or Meta, you'll see all of those TikTok ads. If you were doing any kind of like X ads, all of that stuff, you can get 3x the points when you use that for the transaction. So if you were going to spend that money anyway, you might as well get 3x points for it. And you also get that for internet, for cable, for phone, which is the same as the in cash, also travel. So if you were spending a lot of money on advertising in order for you to make money, you can now get 3x the points on that, and then you can get 25% more in travel redemption. So there are ways that you can kind of play with this in order for you to, make it make sense for your lifestyle, especially if you're someone that likes to do any of this stuff to make money, and then you're someone that likes to travel often. This is pretty much for you. This is the perfect card in that case. And, it may be the best quadfecta, or quadfecta rather, one of those, but I may need to get this one too. It just depends on what you're doing with your business, but that's something to consider. At the time, I did not need this card, but maybe in the next few months, I might consider applying for this one as well. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope that you got a lot of value out of it. At the end of this video, I'm going to do a compilation for each of the Chase cards when I actually applied for them, when I got approved. I mentioned all the data points. I'm sure that you're going to want that. So check the timestamps in the description and you'll see each one of these cards. All right. Click on that and you'll get all the data points, the credit limits, things like that. Now, throughout the year, as time went on, I was able to get all of my credit lines increased and get higher limits. At the very end, there's a video about how to increase your credit limits with Chase and their business credit cards. Very good information there. Lots of value. And if there were cards that I didn't talk about, don't worry, be on the lookout. As needs arise, I plan on definitely looking at like the Southwest option, the United option, the Hilton card. So there's a lot of other things that as I'm starting to travel a lot more, I'm going to definitely pick up those cards here and there. And then I'll definitely, probably update this video, make a new compilation, maybe even change a lot of my perspectives when it comes to which one of these is the best. But overall, if I had to pick one bank where I really felt like I got a lot of value from them overall, it was definitely Chase, and it was definitely the Chase business credit cards. Hopefully this gave you a lot of information about those cards, and you may have found some different ways that you can actually use these to not only, credit card stacking, because that's fine and that's great, but you definitely want to take advantage of what these cards can do for you day to day after all the credit card stacking is done. And then you're looking at consolidating and getting rid of some cards that may be unnecessary, like I'm going to have to start doing at the beginning of next year. I'll probably make a video on that because I think American Express, I'm going to be cutting down a lot of those cards. I don't think it's worth it for what you can get, and we'll talk about that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day. Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about everything financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about the Business Cash Ink card. I've had this card for, I think, approximately 4 months now. It has an amazing spin bonus on it. You can earn $350 after you spend $3,000 on purchases in the first 3 months. But after that, you get an additional $400 when you spend $6,000 on purchases in the first 6 months. Now, if you combine that by using the 5% cashback category, which that's all I've been using this card for, you can actually get $1,050 in cashback in 6 months with this particular card. So that is a really, really, really good offer, and it's still going on to date right now. So right now, at the time of recording this video, this is still applicable. If anything changes, please check the website and refer to that. This card has no annual fee, which is amazing, and you get 5% cash back on the first $25,000 spent in combined purchases each year on your account anniversary. And that's going to be at office supply stores, on internet, cable, and phone services. I have made a old video that I haven't released yet, and in that video I talk about how all of my cards give me a certain amount of cash back. With this particular card, you can get 5% cash back on your internet, cable, and phone bill. Everyone has this particular bill. My bill is pretty high. If you have, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, spouse, fiance, whoever, if you guys end up having separate bills, my recommendation is to combine all of your internet, cable, phone bills, put them all on this card. You should easily be able to spend up to $6,000 in total purchases within that 6-month time frame. And if you spend it on this additional category, you will get 5% cash back. You will earn 2% cash back on the first $25,000 spent in combined purchases at gas stations and restaurants. That's also very big. Or you earn 1% cash back on everything else. You also earn 5% cash back on Lyft rides through March 2025. That is going to expire, so you definitely want to take a look at that. And if you explore the benefits for business, there are 10% business relationship bonus offers. So if you have the Ink Business Cash Card plus a Chase Business Checking, you will receive a one-time 10% bonus on all eligible cash back purchases earned in your first year. The offer is available for Ink Business Cash Cards open between March and November of 2024. So you definitely want to get that Chase Business Checking account open, so that way you can get up to 10% in cash back. There are also flexible redemption options to redeem for cash back, as far as gift cards, travel, and that's all going to be through the Chase Ultimate Rewards. And your cashback rewards don't expire as long as your account is open. They do have employee cards. You can, spend faster, earn more rewards. It's no additional cost to get that card, which is amazing, because from some other particular banks, you may see that you have high annual fees for employee cards. So with this one being free, it's a no-brainer, especially with being able to get 10% back if you have a Chase checking account open with them for business. Now, there's a really cool calculator here. You can kind of break down exactly, if you spend a certain amount of money, how much that you could potentially earn in cash back. And I think if you compare this to the Ink Business Premier or even the Ink Business Unlimited, you're going to find that this is one of the best offers for a brand new business or someone who is just starting to, get into maybe building equity for their company. Another thing that's really great about this card, which again, just to top it all off, it is a 0% APR card. Now, it was a 0% APR card at the time that I received it. Looking at this right now, I'm checking for that same offer. There we go. 0% APR on purchases in the first 12 months. After that, it is an APR of 18.49% to 24.49% variable. I mean, as you can see, the only other card that will give you something even close to that is going to be the Inc. Business Unlimited. That one will give you 1.5% cash back everywhere. So again, if you just tend to spend more on these things, you get 10% in business relationship bonus. I mean, that's a no-brainer. So if you have not applied for this card, this is also one of the cards that you can get without actually having a business. You can get this card as a sole proprietor. You do not need to have a business in order to get this card, as long as you are doing something to make money other than your regular work that you are a W-2 or contracted employee for. So if you wanted to apply, and I'm just bringing up the application now just to show you how simple that it actually is. You can pick owner, enter your first name, last name, and then you can actually enter either your individual tax ID or your social. If you are a sole proprietor, you would enter your social security number instead of entering a federal tax ID. And when you go to business info and they ask you for your legal structure, you can actually pick sole proprietorship. So knowing this, you can get this card with 0% APR, even if you have a side hustle, side business. Maybe you sell things online, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. You do Lyft, you do Uber, you do hair, you babysit, you walk dogs. I think you understand. There are many different things that you could do if you are doing them for income that they would qualify as a business, as a sole proprietor. All that means is that you have not chosen to incorporate legally yet, and you haven't chosen to separate the entities. So you'll still be doing this on a individual level, but you can still qualify for this credit card even if you do not have an LLC or a corporation. So I believe that's another, super big benefit that a lot of people don't talk about, but that you should definitely look into, even if you are, maybe not a traditional business. All right. So if you have any questions or concerns about this card, please leave a comment below. If you have this card, let me know how you're enjoying it. As far as what I'm using it for, it is serving its purpose to the fullest. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. I enjoy using it, and I definitely recommend that you combine this with that checking account to get that 5% bonus or that 10% bonus. Please leave a comment. Let me know exactly if there's any other card that you want me to talk about other than this. I do have some other upcoming videos about Chase, so be on the lookout for that. And other than that, thank you for watching, and you have a wonderful day. Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited credit card. This was a card that I just got approved for maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And this one has no documentation required, 0% APR for 12 months. And this is really going to be a follow up to the original Chase card that I was approved for, the very first one. It was the Chase Inc. Business Cash card. That one also had 0% APR for 12 months. Unfortunately, when I got that card, my limit was capped at $1,000 for the initial starting line, which was, I believe, the lowest starting line that you can possibly get for that card. Now, upon further review and some more research, I learned about some things that I can do differently. Not only did I, make some corrections, I was able to get that card to $5,000 currently. I do plan on requesting another credit limit increase probably in the next 90 days. And then when I was able to get this card a few days ago, I have an initial starting credit limit of $10,000. So I'm going to take you One, highlight this card just so you know exactly all the benefits that it has for you. But secondly, I'm going to show you all the data points that I believe will get you approved so that you can avoid getting a small initial starting limit, and then you can qualify to get this card as well. So let's get started. So right now we're currently on the Chase website, and this is for the Inc. Business Unlimited credit card. And these offers are current to date. So depending on when you're watching this video, you may want to go over to the website and see what new offers that they have. It may not be the same offers that you're currently seeing here. But for new card members, you can earn a $900 bonus cashback after you spend $6,000 on purchases in the first 3 months after account opening. And what's really cool about this is I thought that I may not be able to get this particular offer because I already got the first one. It turns out even if you have one Chase credit card, you can still get another bonus offer. I don't know if it's within 90 days or what have you, but I do know that it was more than that time frame in between getting the first Chase card and this credit card. And I was also able to get the 0% APR for 12 months for account opening. There's no annual fee on this card. You also earn unlimited 1.5% cash back rewards on every purchase. So if you're buying this, like if you're using this card to purchase inventory and stuff like I am, it's great because I know I'm going to spend probably the entire limit during the holiday season. I'm going to get 1.5% cash back on every purchase. But not only that, 0% APR for 12 months. So I have a year to basically use that, make my money, pay it back. And if I want, I can do it again up until the promotion is over. And then I'll probably just raise the limit on this card a little bit more as time goes on. And then if there is another offer that I could get for 0% APR on another card, I plan on doing a credit line transfer. So my plan is to get as much limit as I can on this card. And then if I have another promotional offer, just transfer the credit line over to my next card. That way I can, basically continue doing this for hopefully at least another 2 or 3 years, or start a new business altogether and then try to get the same ones. If you have employees, then you can add cards at no additional cost. You also earn 5% cash back on Lyft rides. So that is going to be going through March of 2025. Again, depending on when you're watching this video, check back. A lot of the promotions get repurposed or they find something new. You also want to check different web pages. I noticed depending on what you're looking at, sometimes you see different offers. So just always double check and just see what exactly is available at the time. And for refer bonus offers, you can also earn up to 200,000 points per year, and you can earn $20,000 bonus points, for each business that gets approved for any Chase Inc. credit card. And then you can do that by clicking the button and getting your referral. Now, I am going to leave a referral link in the description. If you want to use my referral link, then I greatly appreciate it. I do believe that when you use the referrals, it does help you get approved. I did a video a few months back about the Amex Platinum, and everyone who has gotten approved for that, I basically maxed out the referral. I think it was 4 people got approved like almost within like the first week of me doing that. And then they helped me actually get 125,000 bonus points. So thank you for that. And I do believe that that was also something that assisted them in getting approved when you get that referral. So it's mutually beneficial. And, again, I appreciate it if you do. If you don't, then it's okay. You can just go to the link and you can apply for it. Makes no difference. So let's actually go ahead and figure out the data points. And let me just go into explaining what I did to basically get 10 times the limit I originally got when I first got the cash card. So as I stated before, this is a no doc stated income credit card. So you're not required at all to present any documentation in order to get approved for this card. You can do stated income when it comes to what you make, and you can do stated income when it comes to your business, or you can do what you expect to make throughout the year. So you can just make a projection of what you think that you'll do in the next 12 months. And I've talked about this a lot. And of course, that's usually what you guys are looking for. No doc stated income and no doc business credit cards. They're designed for entrepreneurs like me and you who don't have extensive financial documents that lenders would require for an actual business loan. So these are also known as asset-based financing or alternative financing options. But no doc business credit cards gives small businesses access to capital without that extensive documentation. And that's the point. And you don't have to present income or assets in order to get this card. All you have to do is have a business that is completely structured And then there are some data points that I will be going over. So let's go to the data points now. Now, these are the data points that we're looking at for your credit score. They do a hard pull from Experian, okay? It is a Experian hard pull, so you don't have to worry about the other two bureaus. Now, sometimes things can be regional, so I would suggest just freeze Equifax, freeze TransUnion, leave Experian open, and you want to have between a 680 credit score to an 850 credit score. That's going to be the bare minimum, I would say. You may even get approved with the lower one if you have a prior relationship with Chase. But if you have no prior relationship and you have a 680, or really if you have below a 750, I'm going to tell you what I recommend. When I got approved for this card, I was at 760 because my score just seems to fluctuate. But right now, that seems to be like my sweet spot, 760, because I have been applying for some things. I've added new loans, auto loans. So there have been a lot of different things going on with my report that has caused that to change throughout the last few months. Now, hard inquiries, you want to have less than 2. Me personally, right now, I have 0 hard inquiries on my Experian credit report. As I get new business credit cards, I remove them. I have a video on this channel. If you haven't seen it, that will show you how to remove hard inquiries. You only remove hard inquiries for accounts that do not report to your personal credit. And as I've stated before, but some of you are new, business credit cards do not report to your personal credit. For the most part, there are exceptions like Capital One business credit cards. They pull from all 3 bureaus and they report to your personal. I avoid those. I have no Capital One business credit cards because of that reason. So for me, I'm able to get these cards and remove hard inquiries. So right now, currently for Experian, I have 0. You want to have at least 2 or less. You don't want to have more than 2, and you want them to be at least 90 days old. So meaning if you just got a brand new personal card, like let's say last week, I would wait 90 days in order for you to apply for this one, because there's a good chance that you'll be denied because you just opened a new account recently. Wait at least 90 days. And if you have a score that's lower than 750, actually, even if you have a score that's higher than 750, because I believe this is the mistake that I made that caused me to get a $1,000 credit line for the Chase Ink card. So just, take this with a grain of salt. You can do your own research, but I'm just going to tell you my experience. So when I first applied for the Chase Ink card, I froze my report. I had to go unfreeze it and then rerun the application. I had to call. When I called, even though my business was completely structured, I had no other relationship with Chase. I had no checking accounts. I had no savings accounts, nothing like that. After I had to speak with underwriting, I got approved for the bare minimum. Now, my credit score was around a 770, I believe, at the time. So even with that high credit score, it did not help me get a higher limit because it's not just about the score. So what I recommend that you do, get the Chase business accounts. There's a checking account and a savings account. You want to open those up first. This is what I did that got me a $10,000 limit from starting with a $1,000 limit from that other card. I went into Chase. I opened up a checking account, a savings account. Periodically, I've been depositing $100, one of like 500, like just little extras into the checking and the savings account. And I've been doing that consecutively for 90 days. The first thing that happened when I did this, I was able to go from a $1,000 credit line on the Chase Ink card to a $5,000 credit line. So that already I got 5 times what I got by depositing money monthly. And you can do as little as $50, $25, whatever you can afford. I was doing anywhere between $100 and $500. I did it consecutively for 90 days. I would do it every single week. I was basically just taking money and just zelling it to myself once a week. Just little extra money that I had, and I was just putting it there. And I knew that's what I was trying to do, was create a relationship. Banks have a just like Navy Federal, like a internal scoring type system. It's a banking model that they use. The more money that you put in, it almost raises the profile of your account, because they like to see you putting in money. They like to see you sitting it in there. That's going to basically give a positive signal to give you a higher credit line, because you're actually contributing to this institution and not just taking from by just getting credit line. Even though they do make money off of that, it's definitely better when you actually make deposits into this account. It looks very, very good, especially when you're doing it on a weekly basis. It looks very, very good when it's consecutive deposits. So I wouldn't make one, like I wouldn't just take $5,000 and just put it in checking, put it in savings. I would just take 500 and deposit it weekly and just do that for the next, 12 weeks. That would be 90 days. So do that, take that approach, and trust me, if you're not in a rush, that's going to give you your highest limit to start with. Again, that's how I was able to go from the 1,000 to the 5,000, requesting one credit line increase. I did have to call for the business credit cards with Chase. You need to call. But then when I was able to apply for this card, I got 10 times the limit that I started with because I did that and built that relationship with them. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is that there's business credit reporting. Chase will show up on your business credit report. That's going to include Experian Business. That's going to include Dun & Bradstreet, and it's going to include Equifax Business. Now, why am I telling you this? I will let you know that when you have accounts that you're using, and let's say that you plan on using this for whatever, for me, inventory for stuff, maybe you do construction, real estate, whatever you plan on using it for, just know that when you have a balance that sits, it does negatively impact your business scores. And you'll see, I think my Experian business score, when I first started with like NAV and a couple other net 30s, it was at like an 85. My score is currently at like, I think like a 25 or 35. It makes you look like you're high risk when you have that balance, even if you're paying it off every month. Business credit reports are a little bit different. So I'm just going to let you know that if you decide to get this card as one of your first cards, just know that if you leave a balance on there, you may get denied for other cards because of it. Like, for example, the Sam's Club Business MasterCard, they look at the Experian Business Report and they will hard pull it. You'll probably get denied because you have a balance sitting on that card. If it's the GM Marcus card, you'll probably get denied. If you go for the US Bank card, you'll probably get denied. If you go for the Bank of America card, you may get denied. So my recommendation, depending on what you're trying to do, you may want to get a few other cards first, like US Bank if you want that, like Bank of America, like GM Marcus. You may want to start with those first. And then the ones that report are going to be like, for example, the GM Marcus card, that one reports too. Chase reports. You may want to save these for after you get those. Again, your order is going to be your order, depending on how you want to stack. My recommendation is just making sure that when those cards, you'll get the letters in the mail. They'll tell you too many delinquent accounts on your business credit profile. It'll be something along the lines of that. That just means you got to go pay it off and then reapply, and then you can get approved. So just be aware that that is something that can happen. But it's something that, again, it may or may not affect you. It just depends on if you plan on leaving a balance. But just know that doing that when this reports will affect your score. But consequently, if you pay it off, it also will aid to your score. So it may actually improve your business credit score, and you'll have some revolving accounts with good balances which will actually positively affect you when you go to get those other cards. So it could be a double-edged sword, just depending on what you're doing. Or you could just not worry about it, and you could stick with your American Expresses and your Chases and Wells Fargo and a couple of the other ones that don't look at the business report, and then you don't have to worry about it. So just a little tidbit of information that I had to deal with that hopefully you won't have to deal with either. And you can then go from, if you have a low limit, follow this process, get this card, you can get a higher limit. And again, you can transfer the credit line. So if you really want to take advantage of it, there's a Chase Inc. business card that has a, I don't remember the Premier maybe, but the one that has the $195 annual fee. If you want the highest limit, do what I'm talking about now. Open the checking and savings, make the deposits consecutively for 90 days, and then get that card. It'll have the highest limit. It has the highest initial starting limit that you could possibly get. Doesn't have 0% APR. So if you want to be strategic about it, you can get that higher limit on that one. And then you could go ahead and you could get one of the other cards like this one, and then you can transfer the credit line to raise that limit. So that's a little trick that you can get to actually get access to more capital and then get the 0% APR promo, which is something that, I plan on doing in 90 days. I may go back and get the next one and then transfer the credit line. So we will take a look at that and we will see if I get approved. I'll keep you updated, and it'll just be a continuation of this video from that point. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. The channel has grown so much. We're right up to around 30,000 subscribers now, and I believe that we'll probably end the year at 50,000. So yeah, when I started, I had about 7 or 11 subs like in the first week of January, and in this very short amount of time, we know we'll probably go from there to 50,000. My goal was 100, but hey, 50,000 is not anything light either, and I'm very appreciative of that. I will continue posting content until the end of 2024, and then beginning in 2025. You may not see me on this channel because I'm thinking about stopping really posting. Well, I probably won't upload any new content, or maybe I will upload something like every 3 months or so, but it's not going to be very often because I want to focus on doing something else for YouTube, thinking about doing something in just the broadcasting and personal brand space and getting out of the finance space, just because that, you know, personal branding is where I need to be at and where my goals are, and broadcasting is where my goals are, not necessarily personal finance. And I don't think I can make the transition on this channel. So I think I'm gonna start over next year. This was a good test run and everything like that. So I'm glad I was able to do it. I'm glad I gave you some information as time goes on. If I want to just give little gems and stuff about finance and how I do that, I'll just throw it on this channel, and, you know, it'll be cool. And I think I like that idea to be able to just throw that information out there at my leisure. But yeah, next year, I think I'm going to be hyper focused on switching to a personal brand, start my broadcasting, back to podcasting, back to doing that kind of stuff. That's really my bag and what I want to do. So yeah, but I'll be around at least until the end of 2025. So if you guys, I'll probably give an announcement on that and let you guys know at the end of the year. It's been a great year thus far. I'm going to end with a bang. You know, we're going to keep the content coming, and then next year I'll start my new endeavors. So thank you guys so much for watching this video once again. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you were approved for this card, let me know. The referral link is in the description. Please use that if you would like to. And thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful day. Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And about 3 weeks ago, I was approved for the Chase Unlimited business credit card with a $10,000 limit. And yesterday, I was approved for the Chase Inc. Business Premier for $10,000 with no documentation. So this is the second Chase card that I've gotten within like the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. So making it $20,000 of available business credit line. Now, on this video, I really want to get into the details of this card because, you know, even though it's nice to have this credit line, this card I would not say is for everyone. I want to go over the pros. I want to go over the cons of this card. I want to also compare it to the last card that I got, the Business Unlimited, and just give you an idea of which case would be the best time to use this card, and if it's for you or it's not for you. I'll also be going over the data points to getting approved for this card as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So just like the previous video, I want to start by going over the no doc stated income. So this simply means that this is a no documentation credit card that I was able to get approved for, and I did not have to present any tax returns. I did not have to present any profit and loss statements, anything like that. I was able to leverage my credit in order to be able to get approved for this card. So again, no doc business credit cards. They're designed for entrepreneurs like me and you. And without having to provide any extensive financial documentation, I was able to get approved. And anyone can do the exact same thing. You don't have to make a certain amount of money. You're able to do stated income, so a projection of what you think your business might make in the future, and also present stated income for how much money you might make right now from your job. And then you're able to get approved for this card if you meet the credit worthiness criteria. So you do have to keep that in mind. But again, at the end, we will go over the data points in order to do that. In the meantime, let's get into the details of this particular card. All right, I'm going to go over the overview of this card at the time of recording this video. So the Inc. Business Premier is a credit card. Unlike a few of the other Chase Small Business cards in the lineup, this one offers 5% cash back on travel purchases through Chase Travel. That is a benefit of this card. You also get 2.5% cash back on all purchases of $5,000 or more and 2% cash back on all purchases. This is also Chase first pay in full business card, so it actually functions as a charge card. Although select purchases can be paid over time, there is a limit for that. In my case, I have $2,000 that can be paid over time. If you saw my American Express videos or any of those videos where I talk about like the platinum or the gold, then we talk about charge cards, right? They're cards that are supposed to be paid in full within 30 days. Now, American Express has the pay over time feature where you can carry over a certain balance over time. This card also has the exact same feature, but for this one, for me, it's $2,000. On the American Express Platinum, I can carry over $100,000. Now, while that is a huge difference in the amount that you can carry over, it's very unlikely I would ever carry that amount over because of the interest rate. Same with this card. Now, the card really rewards you if you make large purchases with a high cashback earning rate, but there is an annual fee of $195, and we're going to talk more about that annual fee. The previous card, the Chase Inc. Unlimited, has no annual fee. It also has a 0% APR promotion for 12 months at the time of recording this video. Again, all of these things are subject to change depending on the time that you're watching this video. This may or may not be relevant, or the terms that this card has may change in the future. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video. Now, the Inc. Business Premier Credit Card offers this bonus to new members, once again, at the time of recording. You can earn $1,000 bonus cash back after you spend $10,000 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening. So that $1,000 cash back that you can actually earn is pretty cool. If you were looking at doing something where you had to make a large purchase, anything like that, like maybe you were going to do inventory and you were going to spend $10,000. Well, that's awesome because you essentially can get 10% cash back when you make that purchase or you make that accumulation in the first 90 days. So that is one of the things that did attract me to this card. You'll see some other cards with this same exact offer or something similar, but you do have to spend a lot more in order to actually get that same type of cash back. So that is one of the benefits of having this card. And again, it depends on the time you're watching this video. This may or may not still be offered. Now, this card may not be for everyone. Like I started the video with, businesses with regular large expenses, like if you're normally spending $5,000 or more per transaction, this card is for you. This card is not for businesses with small expenses. However, this large spend can easily help you recoup the annual fee. And I do have some figures that I'm going to show you soon to give you a comparison of how this may or may not make sense. So if you do have high spend, you'll get to enjoy high rewards. And this cashback business card is great without the hassle of category bonuses. So if you're familiar with some of the other charge cards like American Express, it's not a flat rate. Some of them are based off of the categories, and in some you get higher cashback than others, or you get more points than others. And there are still a few travel perks that kind of sweeten the pot with this card. And there's no foreign transaction fees. There's also travel insurance. And then once again, that 5% cash back on travel when you book it through Chase. Now, your cash will come in the form of Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And I'm going to clarify this because I'm sure some of you are thinking this. 1 point equals 1 penny. Just don't expect to transfer points to travel partners or net a higher redemption value by using your points for travel. This is 2 perks that's offered by other Chase business cards like the Freedom and some other cards that Chase has on the personal side. Now, even though the terms and conditions on this card state that this card earns ultimate reward points, It's not the traditional ultimate reward points that you're used to. So you can transfer the ultimate rewards points for most Chase cards, right? If you're familiar with this. Some of you guys may not know this, but a lot of people use credit cards for points. There's a lot of things that you could do with them. Now, normally you would be able to transfer points. Unfortunately, on the Business Premier, you're not able to transfer your ultimate rewards points and pull them together. This is really simply a cashback card, and that is unfortunate because with that sort of high spend, you would want to be able to transfer that. That is a huge drawback on this card. And of course, with this also being a charge card, you do need to pay everything within 30 days, but that's something where, most of us would have already done that. But there is that flex spend, which allows cardholders to finance qualified purchases of 500 or more up to a set limit. So in order for you to have that flex spend to carry over a balance, it does have to be at least 500 or more, and you will have a limit that's assigned to you. All other purchases must be paid in full each billing cycle. Keep that in mind if you're racking up big charges. Now, for most of us, if you're using this or you're paying your cards off in full every month, this doesn't really matter because you never would carry over interest. But if you did, just understand there's a limit to how much that you can carry over. You can't carry over $10,000 unless that's your limit. More than likely, it's not. You'll probably have something a lot smaller. So just bear that in mind with this card. All right. I want to give you a breakdown of how this card can be used to earn rewards and if it actually might make sense for you. And we're going to be doing a comparison of the card I was previously approved for, which is the Business Unlimited. And we're going to be comparing that to the Business Premier. Now, let's take a look at the Business Unlimited first. Now, if you were to spend $7,800, and I'm going to go into why I'm using this exact amount. But if you were to spend $7,800 on the Business Unlimited at 1.5% cash back, you would earn $117. I know that's very simple math. You're like, okay, that's easy, right? Okay, I spend $7,800. I earn $117 because there's no annual fee. Well, let's compare that to the Business Premier and see when this might make sense for you. Now, on the Business Premier, if you were to spend 2%, you would have to spend $9,750 in order for you to get back $195. That would just be for you to simply break even. And you can see the proof of this by taking $9,750, multiplying that by 0.02. That equals $195. Now, that's if you were making transactions that were, of course, less than $5,000, and over a period of time, you'd have to spend that $9,750 just to break even on this annual fee, while you would already be at $117 with the Business Unlimited for spending $7,800. Now, let's go to the Business Premier at 2.5%. Now, if you were to spend $7,800, which means you'd have to spend that $7,800 in one transaction, you would earn 2.5%. So if you took 0.025 and multiply that times $7,800, then you would end up with $195. That would be your break even. So in order to have this card possibly make sense for you, you would have to either spend $9,750 at 2% cash back to essentially break even on the annual fee, or you'd have to spend $7,800 in one transaction in order to get back $195 and break even. Whereas with the Business Unlimited, if you were to just spend that $7,800, then you would profit $117, just up front. I'm going to give you some more examples to break this down just to see if this makes sense for you to use this card. Here is another example with some more figures. Now, on the Inc. Business Unlimited, that's the one with no annual fee. If you were to spend $39,000 at 1.5% cash back with no annual fee, you would make $585. That's for $39,000, probably in the course of a year, or maybe less if you had, a lot of spend. On the Inc. Premier, you would need to spend $39,000 at 2% minus your annual fee to get $585. Now, I'll show you how I got this figure. If you take 39,000, you multiply that times 0.02, then you would end up with $780. But of course, you had an annual fee, right? If you deduct that $195 for the annual fee, you would still end up with $585. So in this case, if you were just going to get the 2% on the Business Premier, if you spend $39,000 on both of these cards, you come out the same. It may or may not make sense for you. But if you were to look at the Ink Premier and you were to spend $19,500, almost, slightly almost half at 2.5% minus the annual fee, you would break even. You would actually end up with $195. So the thing is, if you were to spend, more than $5,000 on transactions and they were to equate to $19,500, you would get the annual fee back. Now on the Ink Premier, if you were to spend $39,000 at 2.5%, you would actually end up with $975 minus the $195 annual fee. You would be profiting $780. So why all these figures? My point is, if you're not going to be doing high spend, you're probably better off with the Ink Unlimited. If you're going to be doing a higher spend, then you're better off with the Ink Premier, because you can actually end up getting a lot more bang for your buck if you're going to spend more. So just, kind of think about that and, weigh your pros and cons of what you're looking to do. Now, there are some good things about the Ink Premier, and we're going to go over, my final thoughts here in comparison to some other cards that you may or may not have or you may be looking at. Now, for my final thoughts, this card only benefits those who plan to spend a lot. If that's not for you, then the Chase Unlimited would be a better option. And if you're spending money on things like inventory, business expenses that can be paid back in 30 days, this is a really great option for you. There aren't that many cards that give you 2.5% cash back, so this could be a game changer. And I don't like that you're not earning ultimate reward points that are transferable, but some people don't even know what those points are. On this channel, we don't really talk about point hacking and stuff like that. I do it all the time. That's how I've been looking at paying for traveling and doing things like that. I don't talk about it enough, but maybe I will in the future. But that's something that can be very beneficial to you. Why pay for travel and things of that nature when you can have your card do it if you're going to be spending that money anyway? It just makes sense. So if the few $100s don't seem to make a big difference for you, then I think you should really think about this a lot more, because if you're spending a lot, you should be earning a lot more for what you're spending. But for those of you who are maybe starting a new business and you're not going to be doing that high spend, you probably would be better off with a 0% APR card with 2% unlimited cash back, like the Wells Fargo Signify card. That may be a better option, because you can still earn a flat 2% cash back on everything, but you also have the option of doing 0% APR for the promotion that's going on currently, while the other one, the Chase Unlimited, only gives you 1.5% cash back. So there are some different things that you can look at, but think about this. The Amex Platinum gives you 5x points for travel, but that card has a $695 annual fee. While there are some perks, like you could get Clear and TSA PreCheck essentially for free, that's kind of like a standard with most travel cards. Now, if we're just talking about money that you can earn, this is probably a better option than that, especially when you think about how high that annual fee is. It's almost not even a comparison. So if we're comparing the Amex Platinum, the business version, this is a much better option than a card like that. Way lower annual fee, the same cash back for travel, and you get cash back. That flat 2.5% is good if you're spending more than $5,000. I mean, you'll definitely get more value out of this. So this may be a better option if we're comparing those, but it's all about how you see it and what exactly you're doing with your business. Now, here's a few data points. It's really not that much different from the previous one, but your credit score should be anywhere between a 680 and an 850. At the time of me applying for this card, my credit score was a 763. All right, that's going to be a hard pull from Experian. You want to have less than 2 inquiries at least 90 days old. Now, I will say that when I applied for this card, it was not an instant approval. I did have to call and verify my identity. I think it was because I put in a previous application in a very short period of time, and that is the reason. My recommendation is opening up a checking and savings account and make consistent deposits for 90 days. And I would say that you need to do this if your credit score is less than a 720. I recommend that you make those deposits, and you do that, you'll probably receive a higher limit. The standard credit limit on this card, like if you apply for this card, you're guaranteed a $10,000 credit line. So in actuality, I received the lowest limit possible. I didn't get a higher limit. So there's a lot higher that this card can go to. But again, this card is really good if you're doing that high spend. If you're not doing that, then it doesn't really make sense. You might as well stick with the unlimited or the Inc. Business Cash and get 0% APR for 12 months. While they may not give you as high of a limit up front, you can always work your way up. Now, this business credit card will report to Experian Business, Dun & Bradstreet, and Equifax Business. So you should keep that in mind when you're applying for other cards, like especially cards with US Bank. It can affect whether or not you're approved if these cards have a balance. For this card, because it is a charge card, more than likely you're not going to carry a balance on this card anyway, so that may not matter. With the Chase Inc. Cash and in the unlimited, those you may carry a balance because they do have 0% APR currently for the promotions going on at this time. So just keep that in mind, that if you do carry a balance, that could be the reason why you're denied for some other cards, especially with US Bank. I do have a referral link in the description. Now, with this referral link, if you get the Inc. Business, the Premier, the Unlimited, or the Cash, I can be rewarded if you are approved for the card. I do believe that the referral links help. There are a few people that have gotten a lot of cards with the referral links, especially with American Express and some other Chase cards. So thank you guys for that. If you would like to use that referral link, it will be in the description. If you do, I appreciate it. If not, that's fine too. But it will be there for you. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope that this comparison kind of gave you some insight as to whether or not you should get this card. Again, I don't believe it's for everyone. You can get 2% flat with the Signify card with Wells Fargo with no annual fee and 0% APR. If you want to get a card with Chase, then you can also do the Cash Inc. card, or you can do the other card, the Unlimited, for 1.5% cash back. That is up to you. But there are some benefits to this card. Like I said, if you were going to get the Amex Platinum business card, you might want to consider this as a much better alternative if you didn't want to do a $695 annual fee, and maybe you were going to use it for your business card. I think that this is a great card because you get the benefit of 5% back for travel, which you can get on the Amex Platinum. But the Amex Platinum will not give you 2.5% cash back for all of your high spend transactions, or a flat 2% for that matter. So again, this one can be a really good. It just all depends on exactly what you're doing. I would suggest you weigh the pros and cons to see exactly if it makes sense for you and your business needs at this time. And if it does not, it probably will in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and you have a wonderful day. Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about Chase credit cards, in particular business credit cards, and the loophole for you to get massive credit limit increases when it comes to these cards. Also, higher initial starting limits. Now, when I first received my Chase credit card, the Business Inc. Cash card, I was only approved for $1,000. This crushed me in the beginning because I was looking forward to using this card for a lot of different things. Now, over the past 2 some odd months, I would say, not only did I get 2 more Chase credit cards, each limit started off at $10,000. So between them and the limit increase that I had on that card, I had about $25,000. I was supposed to submit a credit limit increase. If not today, then I probably will do it tomorrow. but I'm waiting to get some hard inquiries removed from Experian. But when I do, I'll be submitting that to hopefully get another $5,000 to have $30,000 between all of my Chase cards. So the main thing is that I learned a few lessons when I was trying to figure out why did I receive such a low limit, and I'm going to add them all to this video so you don't have to go through what I went through and start off with a very low inferior limit, and you can actually utilize this card or all the Chase cards for that matter for business purposes and being able to make money and leverage your business credit. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Let's start by talking about Chase and why exactly I want to focus on this institution. Over the past year, I've been getting various business credit cards, and I do have to say, even though I had this rough start with Chase, this is probably my favorite institution after all this time. Once you know exactly what to do, they are very generous with limits, and they have very, very good functional credit cards. So Chase offers 4 business credit cards with very similar names, and that's going to be the Inc. Business Unlimited credit card, the Inc. Business Cash credit card, the Inc. Business Premier, and the Inc. Business Preferred credit card. Now, these cards offer cash back or points, and it's all based on your business spending. Chase also offers some co-branded cards like United and Southwest that may fit frequent flyers, but that's not going to be the focus of this video right now. We're going to be focusing on the 4 Chase Inc. cards, not the partner cards. Now, I have 3 of these cards currently. I'll probably be getting the last one sometime next year. And they have, various annual fees, various offers. Depending on the time that you're watching this video, you're going to notice that they do have sign-up bonus offers when it comes to Chase credit cards. I'm not going to go over any of the bonus offers because depending on when you're watching this video is probably going to be dated. The information that I think that I'm going to provide will still be relevant. But when it comes to bonuses, you want to check the website and see what's currently being offered at this time. But with these cards, on the Chase Inc. Premier card, you can get unlimited 2.5% cash back when you make transactions over $5,000. With the Chase Unlimited card, you can get 1.5% cash back on all transactions. With the Chase Inc. Business Cash card, you can get 5% cash back in select categories. And the Chase Inc. Business Preferred card, you get 3x on shipping, on travel, and a whole lot more. So these ongoing rewards really play a big part in why I think that this is such a great bank, because getting 5% cash back on up to $25,000 a year in spending at office supply stores, cable, internet, and phone service providers really did come in handy. With the welcome bonus offer, I did make an additional $1,000 just from paying my phone bill while also getting 5% cash back. That's something that you definitely want to take advantage of. And there's also 2% cash back up to $25,000 a year in spending at gas stations and restaurants. We all have to get gas and we all have to eat, and 1% cash back on everything else. And this is the Chase Inc. Business Cash card. And the opportunity for you to pair these cards with others in the Chase family just makes it, again, the combined value that you get is really awesome. So if you're someone like me who buys inventory, or you're doing something where you're working with a merchant, having 3x points on shipping really does come in handy. And then large transactions, 2.5% cash back on everything is amazing. So one common strategy is to use the Inc. Business Cash for high value spending categories like we just talked about. And then you use the Inc. Business Unlimited card. That's the 1.5% cash back on everything for all of your everyday transactions. If you have a large transaction, then you grab the Premier and then you get 2.5% cash back. And if you have anything that's related to shipping or travel, then you would use the Preferred card. Using this combination is how I've really made a lot of cash back with Chase over this period of time. Some people don't like it because they don't like the high spend, but that's kind of the point. And when I get to the towards the middle of the video, I'm going to actually talk to you about how you can use some of the manufacturing spending options to not only get welcome bonus offers, but to also help you get higher credit limits at other banks too. All right. So now that we've gone over a few of the valuable cashback offers that you can actually use, and this doesn't even include travel. Travel would need its own video. Let's look at some primary data points that you need to get approved for business credit cards with Chase, but this also applies to almost every business credit card and most personal cards as well. Now, your credit score will always play a major factor, but when it comes to Chase cards and especially business credit cards with Chase, they're looking at your Experian FICO Bank Card 8. You need a 680 plus. That is the recommended score. Now, your utilization for your credit card, and this is all your credit cards that you have, you want to have below 30%. Ideally, 10%. Now, I say 30 because that's like, okay, if you have 30, bare minimum. 10% is ideal. If you can do that, then that's what I would focus on. Now, no recent late payments in the last 12 months, and you want less than 3 hard inquiries in the past 6 months. I have a video showing you how to remove hard inquiries. So if you would like to watch that, I'll link it here, or check my credit repair playlist in the description. You click on that, everything is there. Now, you don't want charge-offs, you don't want collections or major derogatory marks. Those are a blemish on your credit. Again, check out that credit repair playlist. Everything is there for you with all the resources provided. The other one is the 524 rule. And the Chase 524 rule is kind of an unwritten policy that prevents you from being approved for a new Chase credit card if you have more than 5 open accounts with any bank in the last 24 months. Even if you have excellent credit, you'll likely be denied if you do have over 5 credit cards in the last 24 months and if you've opened too many recent credit card options. This is the reason why I recommend that if you're trying to stack business credit cards, you should not be opening personal credit cards. Your last personal credit card should have been opened 6 months ideally, but at the very least 90 days. And you don't really want to open any new accounts until you are done with your business credit card stacking, if it can be helped. All right. So these are the 2 data points that pretty much to even look at Chase as a viable option, you want to make sure that all of these boxes are checked. Of course, there are some exceptions depending on your relationship with Chase, but we're going to get more into that. Now, let's actually talk about these massive loopholes that you can use to get higher credit limits initially and also get higher credit limit increases with Chase. High personal credit cards. This is something that we've talked about before, and it actually kind of goes with a lot of institutions, but I can say with firsthand experience, Chase definitely looks at this. So Chase is likely to approve you for a credit limit that's similar to the highest limit of your personal credit card. When I first applied for my Chase Business Inc. card, I only had a $2,000 Navy Federal cash rewards card with a $2,000 limit. And here is the thing that kind of confirmed this for me. I got a pre-approval for the Sam's personal MasterCard with a credit limit of $2,000, the exact limit as my Navy Federal card. I then started noticing a theme of every time I go to get pre-approved for a card, they're pre-approving me for the same as my highest credit limit. So from there, I just started doing credit limit increases. So this is how you want to think of it. If you've demonstrated to banks when they pull your credit report that you can handle a $2,000 credit limit on the personal side, why would they be inclined to give you a limit of $20,000? You've never shown them that you can actually handle that high of a limit. So they're really going to give you whatever it looks like you can feasibly handle. And this is where you may want to focus primarily on credit unions. Credit unions will give out higher limits. And with Navy Federal, that was one of the greatest things that I ever, did. I was able to raise my credit limit fairly quickly, and I started noticing that I was getting matched my credit limit. I also want to point out that this does not work for authorized users. I did have an authorized user account at the time that had over $20,000 for the limit. However, that did not help me when I tried to get initial credit limit increases. or initial starting limits. So that's something where you would need to make sure that your highest personal credit card is your credit card and you're not an authorized user. You want to keep that in mind. Now, there's a lot of places that do a soft credit pool in order to give you a increase, and that's going to be American Express, Discover, Citi, Bank of America with an asterisk, because I have seen where they do hard pools. So just, ask them prior. But Wells Fargo, Navy Federal, Synchrony Bank, they typically do offer a soft pull option to increase your credit limit. I would routinely, every 6 months, try to increase your credit limit on all of your personal credit cards. If you can, that would be something that would definitely help you. The next thing that we're going to talk about that will help you get massive increases with Chase is a relationship. And I've said this before in several videos with several banks, but having a personal account with Chase, your checking and your savings, really does help. Chase has historically granted higher limits to almost every client that has a personal bank account with them. That's going to be a checking, that's going to be a savings, and credit cards. And one theme that I notice, anyone who seems to have the Chase Sapphire on the personal side, they seem to get very high limits when it comes to business credit cards with Chase. So I do think that there is something with not just having that personal credit card, but with also having their premier cards. So if you can, that's something that I would look at, because it's going to already be a card that has a higher limit and they're likely to match it. But you also have a personal relationship with them using a multitude of products, checking, a savings, a credit card, and anything else that you can possibly get with them. Opening a business checking and savings is also very important. Banks use something called a bank rating, and it's going to determine exactly how invested you are with their institution. Very similar to Navy Federal's internal credit score, banks will rate you. And not only will it be based off of the amount of money you have in the account, it'll be the frequency of the deposits, whether you have a direct deposit with them, and how many other products and services that you have. It is good to have at least $5,000, but I understand if you don't have $5,000 to actually put into an account. But here's my recommendation. I have a video where I talk about paying yourself through your LLC or your corporation through ADP. This is a easy way to also liquidate your credit cards. You can take money off of them without, of course, being charged for a cash advance because it's a transaction. My recommendation is doing this to hit account spend bonuses, because you can make easily, like even me right now with the 2 new Chase cards that I got and 1 more bonus offer, I'm going to make $3,000 just by manufacturing a spend. And once you do that, you can take the same money. These cards should have 0% APR. I recommend you getting those, because then all you have to do is pay the minimum payment. You can then leave money in your account. It could be with Chase, it could be with a different bank, right? Or you can have a different business credit card and you can do the same thing for that one. Leave the money in the account, let it sit for around 90 days, and then apply for a new credit card, or you can do a credit line increase request. All of these things would definitely help you when you're trying to either have an initial credit limit that is very high, or you would like to at least increase your limit, maybe more than $5,000. I've seen this work with a lot of people. It definitely works. I've done a lot of one-on-one coachings when it comes to business credit. And one of the main things that I see, when you have $5,000, you usually get really high limits of $10,000 or more. And there are some clients that have had over $100,000, 6 figures in their account. Those are the ones you normally see get $50,000 initial starting limits. I'm not expecting anyone to have that. I'm just giving you an example. So I think a combination of all these things, having high personal credit limit cards, starting a personal checking and savings, and possibly even looking at a personal credit card, and then opening up the business checking and savings and actually leaving money, these things will likely give you the highest credit limit increases and the highest initial starting limits. And again, this is how I was able to go from only having $1,000 with Chase to now having $25,000, and more than likely in the next few months I'll probably have over $60,000 to $70,000 with Chase alone, because I'm probably going to be moving some money into my checking and savings and just sitting it there, and it's going to be pretty high. So these things will definitely help you. They've helped me go from $1,000 to where I'm at now. And again, all it really took was just opening up a checking, a savings, leaving some money, and increasing my personal credit cards. All of these things will help you get massive limit increases with Chase. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if any of these strategies have worked for you, and if you currently have a Chase card and you use these methods to increase your limit, please let me know in the comments below. If you would like more videos with strategies about credit limit increases and maybe other methods to liquidate, to garden, to do any of this with your business credit cards, please drop business credit in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to make more videos like this. I will leave a referral link to all of the Chase cards if you would like to use that in order to get approved. Then that'll be in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.